you, Ardvara. Just to say, we do live in a very, very, very unequal society here in Ireland, one of the most equal across Europe and in the developed world. We live in a country that has a wealth and income distribution that should put us all as elected representatives to shame. The top 1% control 15% of all the wealth, and the top 10% of households in this country control 53.2% of all the wealth. It's pretty shocking, but it's even more shocking when you consider the bottom 20%. They actually owe more than they own. We need a fundamental redistribution of the wealth in society, and the local property tax is in no way, shape or form, as described by the Labour Party, in no way is it a wealth tax. It's a regressive tax. It doesn't take into account a person's ability to pay. A 2-year campaign was waged against the introduction of the household charge and the local property tax, and it took the government of Fine Gael and Labour to use the revenue commissioners to coerce, to steal, to rob that money from pensioners, from working people, from unemployed people who for years had struggled to rear their families, to feed them, put them through the school and university systems, to pay off their mortgage and to meet their bills. And what happens particularly to pensioners? The Labour Party come along and pretend that by introducing this tax that somehow they were hitting the wealth in society. Rather than going after the real wealth controlled by the 1%, they went after the vast majority of middle and low income earners, and they should be ashamed of that. They should be deeply, deeply ashamed of that. But just to say, in response to a question I submitted last December, the uncollected water rates, commercial water rates in this city over the last 6 years, up to 2013, before Irish Water came along, amounted to approximately €90 million. Now there's some money we could actually demand back. We should actually be pursuing those businesses that think that they can use water for profit, for running businesses, and get away without paying their commercial water rates. That's one way we can actually have some money coming into the Council to pay for the services outlined in Cathy's report. But just to say, the whole terrain upon which we're speaking here and which we're acting is Thatcherite in the extreme. You introduce a regressive tax on ordinary people, and then you say you have to pay this or we'll deny you services, we'll cut your services. So here tonight what we're having by the Labour Party is, well, no, we have to really, really go after these people because otherwise they won't get their public services. It's a deeply Thatcherite way to fund local government. And whilst we do support the motion, obviously, for the full reduction of 15%, we also call for the abolition of the local property tax. It is a regressive tax, it's a very unequal tax, and you should be ashamed of it. You should be ashamed to stand over it. And also, just to finish, Dermot, I think it is vitally important that we take this debate seriously, Dermot, and you're not helping. Hop onto Twitter later, as you do.
Leverdo.
Ask Councillor Lacey to desist, because it's hard to listen to the contribution, never mind keep track of it. He's just bickering.
Okay, excuse me, Councillor Lyons, continue.
I do believe that by calling for the abolition of the LPT and by the near certainty that we're going to have the water charges abolished within the next year, we can begin to recreate this society. The vision of 1916 can be fully realised, and we can begin by starting to redistribute the wealth. That will start with the scrapping of the water charges, the abolition of the local property tax and the introduction of a wealth tax. Thank you, Ardvana.